Godzilla has been around for a really, really long time, all the way in 1954 to now. And there are over freaking 35 Godzilla films. And in this series, we're going to be talking about all of them leading up to the newest film, Godzilla vs. Kong. So why don't you sit back, relax, grab some chalky milk, and welcome to the series of Let's Talk About Godzilla. So guys, sit back, relax, and here we go.
Yo, what's up guys? Kaiju King 3000 here, and today we're going to be talking about... No, that's not how it goes. Let me start over. Yo guys, Kaiju King 3000 here, and today we're going to be talking about the fourth film in the Godzilla franchise, and that is known as Mothra vs. Godzilla. AKA, I guess in the US, it's titled Godzilla vs. the Thing. Which is really, really stupid. I don't know why they titled that. So this is the fourth film in the Godzilla franchise, and this takes place after the events of King Kong vs. Godzilla. So, yeah. Not much to say about this film, really. I mean, this video might be kind of short because I don't know what else to say, but this film, it's pretty good in my opinion. It's pretty good. I mean, I guess we could talk about Mothra for a second. So Mothra actually appeared in the first film titled Mothra, and I heard that she was originally a novel written by I don't know who wrote the novel, but apparently she appeared as a part of a novel, and I guess movie studios turned it into her own film, and then later she crossed over with Godzilla. So yeah. And for those who don't know who Mothra is basically a moth, but she looks like more like a butterfly, which I guess is pretty cool. I mean, usually when you think of a moth, you don't think of, you know, like pretty things. They're kind of terrifying, actually. But yeah, because usually butterflies are prettier than the moths. But in this case, Mothra is a pretty moth, a very beautiful and magnificent moth. So that's a twist, right? That's a twist. Anyway, so the movie is basically kind of similar to King Kong versus Godzilla, where like greed is the main villain in this film, like just greed and money and shit. So basically, an island where Mothra is at, she has an egg, which has two larvae in it, well, two baby Mothras, whatever you want to call them. And the egg itself looks most likely a freaking an Easter egg. And also, I want to say this too, throughout the entire film, everyone in this film has fucking eggs, whether they're eating fucking eggs or say, oh, I like eggs, or if they have an egg in their hand. There's always one scene in this film. No, there's always, how should I say this? Throughout the entire film, there's always someone who has or is eating a freaking egg, all because this film is centered around a giant egg, which Mothra is trying to protect because that's her young, basically. So a hurricane comes and washes up on the island, and the egg gets stranded in the ocean, then appears on land, and some company like somehow buys the egg, which I don't know how they did that really, because you can't buy nature really, basically, and they want it for profit and shit. And then Godzilla comes out from the ground, basically, in this one. So usually in films he comes out from the water, but in this case he comes out from the ground, like under the ground, which is interesting, yeah, but also a bit weird, I guess. And yeah, so he comes and destroys the city as usual, but he's also trying to destroy the egg. And Mothra has these twin fairies who accompany her wherever she goes and such, and kind of help her like communicate with the humans and help humans understand her, basically, if that makes sense. The twin fairies tell the humans that they have to return the egg to the island, or else, you know, bad things will happen, basically. But obviously, the people who own the egg supposedly don't listen, and they want it for profit and money wise and shit. So then Godzilla comes, he gets closer and closer to the egg, and the humans, the main characters have to find a way to like stop Godzilla, so to go to the fairies and ask for help. And at first they didn't want to, because supposedly the island where they're from, like there was another set of tribe people on this island, but it's not Skull Island this time, it's like a different island. Apparently they didn't want to help out the main protagonist, because our main characters in the movie, because they were doing like science experiments on the island, and pretty much everything died there except for the humans. And so yeah, they blame humanity for that, and that this is basically karma for them if things get destroyed over there, or Godzilla comes and destroys the eggs and destroys every single one, basically. But long story short, they convinced them and they had a talk basically, and so they agreed to let them have Mothra. Well, not have, but Mothra agrees to help out, because I guess I didn't know until like I recently just watched this film, because I've seen it multiple times, but I didn't know to like watch it like just now before this video. But I guess she was already dying in the film, which I didn't know that. So Mothra is actually already dying in this film, and yeah, which is kind of depressing actually. So she goes to the oh my god, I hate my stuttering. To the city and fights Godzilla, which the fight scene is actually very entertaining. Now you may think that, how can a giant mutated lizard or whatever fight a giant moth? But you'd be surprised actually, because Mothra has a lot of abilities. She can drag Godzilla by the tail, bite his tail, spray like poison dust on him and shit. And later on in the films, not in this film, but later on she has more power abilities and such. So yeah. However, unfortunately, Mothra dies in this film, but her larvae, her babies, survived, and they hatched from the egg. And actually, they're the ones who defeat Godzilla by spraying him with their webbing, basically. You know, like kind of like a spiderweb kind of thing. So yeah, the babies actually defeat Godzilla, but the mom dies, is basically what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. So yeah, not that much is going on in this film really, other than just Godzilla fighting Mothra and her larva form, not larva, her babies basically. So yeah. Now the thing that really ticks me off was that when watching the US version of the film, they always refer to Mothra as the Thing, and it's really annoying. And also, this time the US version of this film is not changed that much from the original the original Japanese version, so that's good. Other than the dubbing, but that's it. And changing Mothra to the Thing, that's mainly it. Nothing much was really cut out in this film from the original version, which is pretty good. Pretty good. This film, in my opinion, is pretty good in my book. I mean, it's one of my favorite films. Like I have my top 7 favorite films. There's King Kong vs. Godzilla, and this is one of them too. And we're gonna on the rest during this series. But yeah, this film is pretty good. I'll give it 5 stars. Not 5 stars. No, that's too low. I'll give it 9 stars. That's pretty good, right? The only reason I wouldn't give it 10 because I don't like how they refer to Mothra as the Thing, and yeah, I don't know. Actually, you know what? No, fuck it. Let's give it 10 stars. Give it 10 stars because it's a pretty good film. The plot is pretty good. The characters are not that likable in this one, but no, who cares about the characters? We just want to see monsters fighting, basically. So, yeah. Also, Godzilla's design is pretty good in this one, actually, which I believe I actually have a figure of that one too as well. Hold up, let's see if we have. Yes, I do. So here's the Godzilla from the movie Mothra vs. Godzilla. And yeah, the design of this guy is not the figure, but the Godzilla design they use in the film is actually pretty good in my book. I like it. It's good. Now, note to self, or not, side note, some scenes in this film, I don't know if this was meant to happen, but there was one scene in the film where the military was fighting Godzilla and, you know, shooting flames at him and shit, and Godzilla's head is literally lit on fire. It's not special effects or anything like that, but it's actual fire that was lit on the suit of Godzilla. And I don't know if that was meant to happen, I doubt it. But the actor wasn't hurt though, but I think it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't think the suit wasn't supposed to catch on fire, but it did. And they still used it in the film too, and I'm like, okay, because it's funny to me how like the suit caught on fire, and that could have been a serious, you know, injury to the actor. But they're probably like, no, we need this scene. We don't care about that. We need this scene. This scene is perfect. So, yeah, and there's also some other scenes too where he literally trips and falls on a building, somehow, which is, I don't know if that was a mistake or it was meant to happen, but yeah, no biggie, I guess. So yeah, guys, check out this film. It's a pretty good film in my book. And next up, we'll be reviewing the most epic, the most fan favorite film, and that is Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Dragon. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know this one's kind of short. Well, actually, it's not. It's still the same length as any other episode, and that's usually 10 minutes long. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.